Stone walls often outlast the people who built them, but in some structures, human lives were deliberately left inside the masonry. Archaeology, court records, and later excavations confirmed that this happened in multiple places and eras. These are not legends repeated without proof. They're buildings that produced bones, documents, and sealed chambers when examined centuries later. Watch carefully through each location, because every site connects to another where the walls kept their secret even longer. 1. Along certain collapsed sections of the Great Wall of China, human remains have been found mixed with earth and stone fill. Historical records from the Qin dynasty describe forced labor conditions where thousands died during construction. Archaeological surveys have confirmed bones embedded within compact layers used to stabilize the wall. These were not ceremonial burials, but workers who died and were left where they fell. The structure still stands in part because of this method. But another fortified site took confinement even further. 2. Castle Hauska, the wall that closed a living body. In 14th century Bohemia, Castle Hauska was constructed over a deep shaft considered dangerous. Historical accounts describe a condemned prisoner lowered into the pit before construction continued, sealing the opening. Later investigations found human remains in sealed sections near the foundation. The castle's unusual defensive design supports records that it was built to contain something rather than defend against attack. This case shifts attention to urban buildings where sealing was used as punishment rather than containment. 3. Edinburgh Vaults, rooms that never reopened. Beneath South Bridge in Edinburgh, sealed chambers were uncovered during the 19th century renovations. Human remains were found in rooms intentionally closed off during plague outbreaks and later construction phases. Contemporary city records describe walls being raised to isolate infected individuals when burial space ran out. The vaults became permanent tombs by design. Physical evidence confirmed what documents suggested, but similar practices appeared in religious architecture far from Scotland. 4. Horyuji Pagoda, a human pillar confirmed. At Japan's Horyuji Temple, ancient texts reference a hitobashira, a human pillar used during construction. When structural repairs were carried out in the 20th century, remains consistent with the records were discovered within the base layers. These findings supported long-debated historical claims. The body was positioned to align with the central support, indicating intentional placement. This discovery pointed toward similar construction rituals documented across Asia. 5. Pont-Saint-Benazet, bodies beneath the bridge. During underwater surveys near the medieval Pont-Saint-Benazet in France, human bones were discovered embedded in foundation sediments. Construction records mention workers buried where they died during repeated flood collapses. Rather than halting work, builders stabilized the base using existing materials, including bodies. The remains were sealed by stone and river silt. This method ensured durability, but it mirrored practices found in defensive structures across Eastern Europe. 6. Bran Castle, prisoners lost in the walls. Renovations at Bran Castle in Romania uncovered human bodies within walled-off interior passages. Historical prison records describe inmates sentenced to confinement without release. Structural analysis shows these corridors were intentionally sealed during later renovations. The bodies were not relocated, preserving them inside the stone. This was not symbolic sacrifice, but administrative punishment. Similar findings would later emerge in religious buildings designed for isolation rather than worship. 7. Convent of the Capuchins, cells that became graves. In parts of southern Europe, convent renovations revealed sealed monastic cells containing skeletal remains. Written rules enforced lifelong enclosure for certain nuns as penance. Archaeological examination confirmed individuals died inside and were never removed. The walls were thickened afterward, erasing entrances entirely. These remains provided direct evidence of institutional confinement practices. raising questions about similar structures hidden beneath urban centers. 8. The Colosseum substructures, workers below the arena. Excavations beneath Rome's Colosseum uncovered remains in areas inaccessible after construction. Records indicate laborers were sealed into substructures following accidents or collapses to maintain stability. Later expansions buried these zones permanently. Bone analysis confirmed dates matching early construction phases. These discoveries show sealing was sometimes pragmatic, not ritualistic. The pattern continued in ancient cities where space was limited and secrecy necessary. 9. Angkor temples, foundations with human remains. At Angkor Wat and surrounding temples, archaeological digs uncovered human skeletons beneath foundation stones. Inscriptions and ethnographic parallels suggest ritual foundation sacrifices. The bodies were carefully positioned, not randomly buried. Carbon dating matched construction timelines. These findings demonstrated deliberate inclusion during building, contrasting sharply with accidental entombment elsewhere. Yet even modern cities contain sealed chambers with similar outcomes. 10. Paris catacomb walls, the final seal. During 18th century expansion of Paris's underground ossuaries, sealed sections were created to stabilize collapsing tunnels. Some workers died during cave-ins and were left in place. Records confirm walls were erected over bodies to prevent further collapse. These areas remained untouched for centuries. The physical evidence still exists behind reinforced stone, leaving the unsettling possibility that other sealed spaces remain undiscovered beneath active cities.